really you can find high quality Italian food also outside. And I say that because many times I heard guests scared to go to an Italian restaurant to be disappointed. But I think that the trend is changing now, and also because you can find really great products uh, in every country around the world, in my opinion.
Welcome to Ciao Bella, hosted by me, Erica Firpo, a travel journalist based in Rome. Each episode of Ciao Bella, I sit down with Italy's creators, contemporary artists and artisans, designers, culinary experts, heritage brands, and innovative aesthetes, and more who are defining and redefining 21st century Italy. Pull up a chair and join in. Ciao tutti, welcome back to Ciao Bella. Today I'm taking a little bit of a left turn from Ciao Bella and we're heading to Copenhagen. I'm with Nico Fanetti. Ciao, hi.
Ciao Erica. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, thanks for joining me. Nico is a chef based in Copenhagen, and he has a restaurant that I would like to call Brace, but I just discovered that you pronounce it Brace.
Brace, exactly, yeah. It's the English version, yeah.
Which we're going to talk about in a second, why you chose the English version. But
sure.
But I was particularly, one of the reasons I was really interested in talking to you is because you're an Italian chef in Copenhagen, which I think there's a lot of cross-pollination, but also you've been awarded the Michelin Green Star.
Yeah, exactly. Last year in September, actually. Yeah.
Which is really like complimenti. That is super cool.
Thank you. Yes, a great achievement so far. Yes, one of the most important, because also here our mission in the restaurant is to avoid as much as possible the food waste, not because it's a trend, but because it's in our credo, in what we believe in, and it's something that we take care a lot of it.
Well, you're in very good company, because I believe it's Norbert who has the Green Star in Italy. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
And I know that I interviewed Norbert. Actually, I think I interviewed him right before all the pandemic happened. I went on top of the mountain and we talked very much about Cook the Mountain. And but I also know, and in fact, that's again, you know, I was reading about you, and I was like, oh wow, it's really cool to see, I don't want to say similarities, but same ethos.
Yeah.
And you're also happen to be very much younger.
Yeah.
You're 33 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is also, you know, it's great. So first of all, let's ask the obvious question. Yeah. You're from Brescia, right?
Yes, in the north of Italy. Yeah, actually, for be more correct and specific, in the province of Brescia, like in Valle Camonica, really up to the mountain area, is more or less 40 minutes from the Swiss border.
Okay.
So it's really mountain.
Wow, so you are way up there. In essence, the cold weather of Scandinavia.
Yeah,
it's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. Exactly. There is I don't feel so much the differences, because where I come from actually is a bit the same in terms of weathers, and coldness is the same.
Well, what brought you to Copenhagen?
The passion for improving my skills and discover a different food culture than the Italian one. And actually, because I saw a lot of similarities from where I come from, so in the north of Italy and Scandinavia, because as I said before, I come from a mountain area, so I'm surrounded from a lot of nature. And when it's cold, so in winter, it's a bit hard actually to have like fresh products like you can have in the Mediterranean area, for example, and also is a really still a rural kind of town where I live. So there are a lot of farms, people still farming and having like animals and so on, producing their own butter, their own products, going after to hunt when is the hunting season, or to produce charcuteries as well. I grew up in that way, also because my grandparents had both they had a farm as well, and animals like a goat, sheep, chickens, and cow, pigs. So I grew up in really that way. And what fascinated me about Copenhagen specifically is that I was reading a magazine, culinary magazine, that was talking about this philosophy of coming back to the nature, to what food actually is about, products. And when you, as I did, work in cities, in big cities, you lose the contact with the supplier, with who deliver actually, who produce the products to you, the raw materials and so on. You don't see how they grow, how the products are farmed, have been farmed, and I miss that a lot. And I found actually that part again when I came here the first time in Copenhagen.
Now, I did a little research on you, obviously, and I know that you trained at Alma in
Yes,
Italy,
in
and
2009.
and then you were also at Miramonti,
Miramonti l'altro, the two Michelin star restaurant in Brescia. Yes.
in Brescia. Okay, and then
Yeah.
and then that was before you went to Copenhagen.
Exactly, yes. I have been in Alma in 2008, and after 2 years and a half in Miramonti l'altro. Yeah.
Now, did you do what I think a lot of people want to assume the storyline is that you just go ahead and walk up to Reni Redzepi and say, I would like to work at Noma?
Yeah, I did that actually because, as I said, I was reading in this magazine about the new Nordic cuisine in 2010, and I discovered for the first time what Noma was. I never heard before, and what was going on here. And I don't know, like I was captured from this philosophy, from this way to create food and to combine different flavors and to cook the nature. And I decided to come here and to go from who actually created this philosophy, so Noma. And I was so lucky to go in 2012.
Now you said something, you were talking about how your grandparents had farms and all of that sentiment, all of that background also is what you found similar in what was going on with the new Nordic cuisine.
Absolutely.
And I think, my nonni are Italian and
Yeah.
and I mean, they're from Rome, which is still city, but they did foraggio and I think a lot of that stuff is finally returning. But I think everything that you're saying you're absolutely right, is so much related to the way it used to be, or the way it should be, I guess. Tell me, when did you're in Copenhagen, you're fine with the weather, which is something, by the way, I really had a hard time with. I love Copenhagen, but it was cold and dark because I kept going in the winter time.
That is the worst period to come and visit Copenhagen. First, if it's actually the first time that you come to visit, I suggest to everyone that I meet to come in spring, summer period.
Yeah.
And, everyone will fall in love in Copenhagen in that period.
I mean, I tease. I will say though, the first time I ever went was around Christmas time, so I saw the markets and I love all the food at Christmas. And then and I was like, but it was really cold, so I came back in the summer, and I like the art museums and the what is it, like 22 hours of sunshine. When did you open your restaurant?
I opened it actually in the 1st of February of 2017.
Oh wow! So you were pretty young.
5 years exactly, yeah.
So you were like 20. You were like 28 years old.
I was 28, 27.
27. What neighborhood is it in?
It's actually really in the center of Copenhagen, in the Latin Quarter. Actually, is the oldest quarter here in the center of the city. Is near the metro and the Radusplatz, that actually is the main principal area of the city center, where all the metros and so on are are focused in that point, in that position. So, but it's also a bit characteristic where is located my restaurant, because it's a beautiful yard in the front of the entrance. Basically, it's a garden, and give a feeling of a countryside. Actually, this is what all the guests are telling me that they really like, because it's so special, the entrance of Brace, because you don't feel like you are in the center of Copenhagen. And yeah, I'm quite in love with where I am.
That sounds really beautiful. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your restaurant? And
Sure.
now you can also tell us why Brace is not called Brace.
Yeah, absolutely. When we choose the name, we wanted something that connect our values, me and the values of my partner, because I opened it with a partner, and something that was a base of all our ideas. And I don't know.
I'm sorry, this is my big dog. She's really tiny. She wants to be with me. Okay, so it was a base value.
She want to be a part of the podcast.
Exactly. She's our mascot. So it was the base of your
ideas of our lives, because also in the same moment that we was opening the restaurant, we also was expecting a child, so our daughter. And so that's why we call it Brace, because actually Brace in English mean foundations, actually are the structure of of a building. So what actually holds a building?
The support, yeah.
The support. So that's why we gave the meaning of a foundation of ourselves, of our ideas, of what we want to build, of what we want to be in the future, what we want to realize, and so on. Also because from that, we have created during the years collaterals businesses, and that's why it's a meaning of foundation of ourselves, and has nothing to do with Brace, the Italian name. When we have choose the name of the restaurant, we didn't talk about this game of meanings. But I think that is funny because give the opportunity to people to talk about it, to ask questions or what it mean, or it's funny in a way.
Tell me a little bit about the cuisine, the kitchen, and your team.
Yeah. So my philosophy is actually that I need to cook the freshest products that I have available on the market, and I have nothing against with who actually import products from Italy and so on. Also because I myself import something as well, like pasta, rice, or pistachio, for example, like all the dried nuts. But I think that during the years, Copenhagen and Denmark specifically have developed high quality products, and the farmers actually develop and quality as well, and they continue to study how to perfect their products, how to make much better, also about the soil together with the weather. So all the conditions, there is a lot of going on here, also because they collaborate together with universities and so on. And I must say that also the climate change played a big role, because for when I came here in Copenhagen in 2011, and now there is a huge gap in the temperature. Like wow. When I came here the first time, for example, in winter, we was also like minus 10 degrees, minus 15 degrees in winter. Now hardly we go under minus 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and that actually reflects during spring and summer, because more warm, of course, products grow much
yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, much faster, much better. For example, there is some producer that try to cultivate puntarelle and actually are really, really good.
Really?
Yeah, so
in
that's what I mean.
Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen. So that's what I mean. Like they are really developing a lot and trying to actually cultivate different raw materials. And what I like is that there are farmers that specialize in a specific product. For example, I have my produce supplier of tomato. They have been testing in during their 23 years of activities more than 600 varieties of tomato. They made a selection of 60 of them, and now they actually cultivate them when spring starts and summer and so on. Honestly, I don't see so much different in taste compared to the Italian ones.
Hmm.
Are really, really good, really full of flavor, aroma, sweetness. There are different type of
I mean,
tomatoes as well.
you might
That
be giving up your cittadinanza here by saying
yeah, yeah. I know there is that I take in by saying that, but I that's why I felt in love with the mentality of working also, and the fact that they don't care where they are or that they are in Scandinavia, but they try anyway to grow something that apparently years ago was impossible to think about it. So that's why I like to uh, actually purchase and take and be and use what my farmers grow here. Also, if sometime, for example, in autumn or winter, it's a bit hard to create a menu based on the raw products because it's tighter the selection. But then I implement actually with all the wild products that are coming and growing in that period, and also with our fish, seafood um, supplier. We we actually have a menu based more on vegetables and fish rather than meat.
that sounds really good. That sounds
Yeah,
really, and I'm gonna guess that, I mean, you're sourcing your fish from the Scandinavian area, is that
yeah,
correct? I mean, that
yeah,
must be
exactly.
amazing. It must be amazing.
Yeah, but they are more fatty actually because of course the temperature are really
Yeah.
low, so they actually produce more fat, and they are. I actually take from the Faroe Island, from Norway, from also like here in the Sea of Denmark and Sweden, and according to the season actually, because also with the fishes I go by season as well, and it's really great the average of flavors that you can find, and you can that after you can create different dishes, and really you can experiment a lot. But my idea, my philosophy is always cooking Italian food using local produce as much as possible. Local produce, of course, the local produce have their own taste. I mean, more Scandinavian flavors because they grow here rather than the Mediterranean, Italian one or French. This is the characteristic of my cuisine.
I have a question because I know that, I'm just curious, what about with cheese? I know there's great cheese in Denmark and in
Yeah.
Norway. Are you know, can you get by without using Parmigiano Reggiano? Do you ever use it
Yeah,
or?
I'm not so close on that. Like,
Okay.
of course, I use Parmigiano Reggiano, Vacche Rosse, like 60 months of
Ah,
aging.
Baccarat, yeah.
Some,
I love that.
yeah, something that actually make really a huge difference on flavor on a dish. But also, I spend a lot of time of my day looking for new suppliers coming, what they have, and so on in all the areas. And I like that because I discover really, really something unique. And yes, I also taste what they produce, cheeses, about the cheese also. And they have a lot of really high quality cheeses from
Mm.
goat, sheep, and so on. And of course, in my opinion, the knowledge that they have, and this mean also like the varieties are not similar or comparable to the Italian one. But what they do, I must say that they do in the best possible way that they can. So yes, I also use their cheeses.
I'm just looking at the pictures on your website. They're beautiful,
Okay.
first of all, but I also just saw this
Thank you.
this gorgeous sea urchin. Is
Yes.
it? I mean,
Yes.
there's, and it looks like those are clean as well. I mean, I was just like, oh, it looks delicious. I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah, is actually that one is actually an Icelandic sea urchin
Ah,
that yeah, Icelandic sea urchin that arrive fresh every Wednesday. So we actually we are amazed about the flavor of the Icelandic sea urchin because the first time that we have tasted tastes like rose petals, like it's sweet.
really?
It's not bitter like yeah, it's not bitter like the Mediterranean one. Is have more sweet notes and really tastes like flower, like rose petals to me. So that's why I'm making actually this spaghetti. That, by the way, I use spaghetti pasta mancini because I really like the texture and I will keep the al dente for a long time. So I make a sauce with this Icelandic sea urchin, and after I pair them with a ragu of hip rose. That actually is the fruit, is the berry of the rose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and actually create this contrast of acidity, sweetness that pair perfectly with the Icelandic sea urchin, and in the start, I had difficulty to let the guests understand it and enjoy it, but during time, they actually is one of the most favorite dishes in the menu
I
at
mean,
the moment.
that is that seasonal as well?
Yeah, is that season actually finish? The season will finish around May, for after take back again in later autumn, like October and so on. But for
Okay.
example, the inspiration about this pasta came from one of my guys that actually is from Sicily, okay? And he told me, chef, yes, in Sicily actually, when I was with my father, I was going to pick a sea urchin on the river and eat it raw or do a sauce for the spaghetti. And I said, okay, let's do that. So if it's something that is typical from your country, from where you come from, let's put in the menu. So we actually took the sea urchin the same way. So as I mean, Italian way to process the food, our food culture, because of course, using the sea urchin in a raw way is more Asian, Oriental, but we do a lot of pasta and risotti with sea urchin. So that's why we introduced that in our menu for the first time in 5 years. And as I said, the difficulty in the start is that nobody expected us to use a sea urchin in a sauce way, but everyone expected to use as a pure element in a raw way. But we are not an Asian restaurant.
Tell me a little bit about your team.
Yeah, my team actually is a bit a mix of different regions in Italy, and also we have an amazing Korean chef that she's actually cooking all the pastas and main course.
And she's a woman. I like hearing
Yes, I really love. Actually, if I can, only women in the restaurant because they are really great. And I put actually I give the opportunity to this Korean to take over the pasta section and the main course because I think that is important to uh, transmit, to actually to teach our main culture that is around pasta and so on. And now it's almost 3 years that she's working with me, and she actually cooked the pasta and risotti much better than some Italian guy that I have in the team.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really something really good.
Tell me a little bit about sustainability, because I know that you guys are, you have a just so everybody knows what a Michelin Green Star is. A Michelin Green Star is sustainability, correct?
Yeah, but like I'm not, I want to be precise on this because I don't want to pass the message that we are what we are because we are looking for prices and so on. Like our is an action of a way to be, a way to think about sustainability that comes from how we born. Like my grandma teach me to not throw anything, and I never saw my family throw something, or also when I was a kid that I was throwing some food and so on. They actually all my family, my father and so on, all teach me to not do it because it was actually wrong, and to have respect for food and everything, no? So that actually is the way that I grow up, and is the philosophy that I use automatically. It's not something that I'm looking for. And this is something that actually I transmit also to my guys, to my team.
Well, I think
And
from
of course, it's hard to do that because not everyone has grown in the same way with the same principles. But I can see that they understood the reason why, and they now they do it automatically.
and it,
What we do is, for example, is to think how to reuse some kind of products. For example, the stems of a parsley, or the skins of the a potato. Of course, the bones, fish bones or meat bones, we use for doing stocks, or for use as a flavoring inside a process, inside a sauce, or for example to use some kind of vegetables or fruit leftovers for produce our juices. At the moment we also have a juice pairing in our restaurant, and at the moment we have a kombucha of leftovers coffee. So by the end of the day, when after we have made all the coffees for the guests and also for ourselves, with what remain, actually we don't throw, but actually we keep it and we do a juice, and we will ferment it in a kombucha.
and
Yeah.
I actually saw that you have a menu that's this must be part of your non-alcoholic pairing menu.
Yeah, actually is something that we care a lot of, because in Copenhagen especially is the juice pairing is something really fundamental to have, because there are also people that like to go for a non-alcoholic pairing instead of just wines. But the level also on that is really high. We have, for example, Noma, Geranium, and so on. They were amazing juices, and we want to keep it in that level, because we aim to do everything that we can in the best possible way, or at the best that we can do here at Brace. So that's why sometimes, for example, if I have a byproduct from from the kitchen, I actually use it for do other preparation as the juices. And for example, another thing is that we don't waste any more water, like for example tap water and so on, like we had in the past, but we buy from a supplier that actually is producing in Bornholm, that is an island 30 minutes from Copenhagen. There is is producing mineral and sparkling water in a bottle, that after we will recycle again that bottle for constantly use as a recycling process for our guests.
And from what I understand, it's also is there also recycling within like the fabrics in the actual dining room as well?
Yeah, exactly. Like the glass bottle actually is reused to bottle in other waters and so on. So that is a circle that is going on. Or for example, also another way to be sustainable that we do is actually to, as I said, to just choose suppliers that work with a 360 degrees circle way of the season, okay? And that they have a limited amount of animals per field, and that they don't actually use any kind of pesticide or kind of antibiotics and so on, but only natural food for them. And the same is with the vegetables. It's the same philosophy, like farmers that doesn't use pesticide, but use ancient way to actually
Right.
cultivate and grow raw materials. I think that all in all of these kind of things are important nowadays. And that's why I'm lucky to have the opportunity to do this, because I'm here in Copenhagen, and actually all the farms are 30 minutes far away from the restaurant. So I have the opportunity to visit them quite frequently.
You're very lucky. You're very, very lucky.
Yeah,
Now,
thank you.
I want to, we talked a little bit about, we just kind of threw out the terms new Nordic cuisine, but I thought we might want to talk about that in the context of Italian cuisine. And in regard to, I think there is an idea of Italian cuisine that a lot of people have, and I think what you're doing is talking about potentially a new Italian cuisine. And I would love to get your thoughts.
Okay. I think that I believe that combining two different cultures is something that can open our minds more and can open our perspective of how similitudes sometimes there are in different countries, apparently so far, but in my opinion, near in many aspects. Also because if you go a bit to study the history, actually, we had many commercial trades with Scandinavia, especially in the center and south of Italy. So we actually had many contacts with them in the past. For example, they introduced us the butter and the buttermilk, all these dairy products. We gave them the garum, the notion of garum and so on, because actually since they was merchants and they actually was navigating a lot, they actually all the times went to the port of Naples. And from there, actually, they started to make many trades, bring products to us, and we gave products to them and so on. So the two culture was already combined back in the days. So I'm not doing something new, but I'm doing something that, in my opinion, remember to me where I come from. And that's why I feel at home. I think that the notion of Italian cuisine now is abroad, actually, out of Italy, is growing more and more. And I think for the quality of Italian restaurants that you can find out of Italy is much higher now than back in the days. Also because now many talented chefs are actually leaving Italy for open restaurants all around the world. For example, in Singapore, Tokyo, or in America, or Spain, France, and so on. And really, you can find high quality Italian food also outside. And I say that because many times I heard guests scared to go to an Italian restaurant to be disappointed. But I think that the trend is changing now. And also because you can find really great products in every country around the world, in my opinion.
I think you're absolutely right. Now, do you, we're talking about like in regard to, I think traditionally, and this also might be like through the gaze of an American, I think a lot of people, when they think of Italian food, they're thinking pasta, they're thinking lasagna.
Exactly, yes.
How do you feel about that?
Is the main. Is a stereotype that actually we helped to create. And I think that is we made a huge mistake, because Italian food is much more rather than only pasta, but is produce, first of all, is history, and we have thousands of different products from the north to the south of Italy, and where we do also like amazing starters, or like main course, dessert, and so on. We don't do only pasta, we do also amazing soups, for example, or legumes soups, or great fish starters. For example, if you go also like on Garda Lake, we use also like, for example, grilled hill fish. So it's really crazy, in my opinion, to just define Italian cuisine only with pasta. So my opinion about Italian cuisine in Italy, actually, that is, I think, is happening something new, like a new wave of young and talented chefs are coming up, are popping up, and the mentors, like the chefs that made Italian cuisine, like Massimiliano Naimo, Bottura, and Ugliassi, and so on, are the guide. Okay, is I think that actually they have opened a huge street for us to follow, or to they indicate the view, and I think that we must continue and innovate even more that what they have done. But it's important, I think, with our own identity. Each of us, we must have our own identity, our own philosophy, without copying or aiming to be anyone else, just us. And I think that Italian cuisine will have a great future, in my opinion, because also there are really, really great and amazing products and producers that can create a huge diversifications in terms of flavors and in terms of creativity, in my opinion. And abroad, I mean, it's something that I think with the years we can change the stereotype that people have in about the Italian cuisine. I think it's already happening thanks to the amazing Italian restaurants that are outside of Italy. And but we can't always pass the message that Italian food is just pasta, because I think that is a really huge limitation, and doesn't show and pay respect of the diversities of dishes that there are region to region, and also from province to province sometimes. That is not only pasta, but also our soup, starters, main course, dessert, and street food as well. I think is really from north to south is really unique what we have. We always tend to copy other food cultures, like, I don't know, the French one, the Spanish one, or the Asian one. But I think that we just really need to understand the huge value of our Italian cuisine and products as well. And when we understand that, we don't need to copy anybody. We just need to emphasize even more the great luckiness that Mother Nature gave to us.
Well, I think you guys are doing that. I think you are, there's like a team of your peers across Italy and outside, and it's great. It's really, really great to see that you're redefining and changing the landscape and changing the stereotypes. I want to thank you. I want to first let everybody know that they can find out more about you by visiting your website, which is Restaurant Brace. So as we would spell it in English, restaurantbrace.dk. Can we follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, of course. Is you can follow me on Restaurant Brace, or on my profile, my own profile, that is Nicola Fanetti.
Okay.
And please follow me so you can see what I do, who I am, and what I'm passionate about.
I would love to, and everybody would love to. Thank you so much. Yeah. It was great to speak with you, and I can't wait to come to Copenhagen.
Thank you so much, Erica, for this nice talk.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ciao Bella. If you'd like to know more about today's guest, please visit ciaobella.co and click on the podcast link, or go directly to ciaobella.co/podcast. Want more Italy? You can find all my episodes on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher. When you have time, subscribe to iTunes and rate the podcast. What are you waiting for? And if you want to be part of the podcast, email me or DM me your Italy questions. To learn more about me and my work, go to my website, ericafirpo.com, and follow my Italy adventures on Instagram at ericafirpo. Ciao, Bella! And a very big thank you and hug to Massimiliano Yonta, the producers of Ciao Bella, who continue to make me sound and feel great.